All right. Get my camera together. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Heat Check. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I am Desmond A. For those of you who don't know, once again, Desmond A, music producer. Been producing music for over 10 years now. Been producing music. I've recorded artists, got songs on Bravo, E-Television, different documentaries, so on and so forth. So that's why you should listen to my opinion. So what exactly is this show? This is the Heat Check where you submit beats to me. I go ahead and give you my feedback. And also in the chat, fellow producers, I want you to leave your feedback as well. And I want to give a special shout out to the chat, everyone who's going to go ahead and pop up in the chat. Shout out to you. So what's the format of the show? Producers submit beats. I give my feedback. But here at the Heat Check, we don't tear down. We don't roast. We don't snap on people's beats. We're here to uplift the community. So what does that mean? We give constructive criticism, like maybe you need to work on your drums. Maybe you need to work on your melodies. Hey, keep grinding. I could tell where you're going with your music. Go ahead and give it a little bit of a tweak. Keep going at it. Work on your melodies, work on your mixes, and you'll be there. So we don't just snap people's heads off here. We make sure we give constructive criticism. We can be direct, but we need to do it with love to uplift them to become a better producer. So that's how it works. I go ahead and play about a minute and a half of the producer's beats who submitted for the show. Just to let you know, the submissions are closed right now. The deadline was noon Eastern Standard Time, so it's closed. But as soon as this show ends, the form is going to reopen so you can submit your beats. The link is in the description right now, so you're going to be able to check that out and submit your beats for the next show. And I want to also, I'm gonna save that for the end of the show, man. Lots of good things coming out here. Desmond A Sounds, just giving a lot of value, giving a lot of game to the music production community. So I'm super excited, man. So had so many good things happen in reference to this content creation, music production community world. I literally had a hard time sleeping a few days ago. That's how excited I was. That's how pumped up I was. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the show. So let me change my screen here. Got to get here in FL Studio. And we're going to give the feedback on the beats. So the first producer we have here is produced by Mexico. It's called Yerk. So I'm going to play the beat, a minute and a half, give my feedback. And once again, I want you as a fellow producer to give your feedback as well to help this producer grow in the future. So I'm going to mute my mic, listen to the beat, and let's go ahead and check this out together, family. Let's do it. All right, that was Yerk by producer Mexico. Relatively short beat there that you got, but you made your point. You went in and you went out. So, for my feedback for this particular beat, I like the bounce. I like the drum bounce. I'm kind of getting a little bit of Cardo vibes, you know what I'm saying? Getting that kind of unorthodox drum bounce. Um, One thing that was really sticking out to me was that 808. The 808 really felt kind of unfocused and floppy. You really want to focus on tightening that up. I don't know if you maybe even have the notes clashing together as far as having the release of the 808 kind of smacking into the attack of the 808 and causing it to be a little bit mushy and not quite as clear as it should be. Um, Other than that, also the drum selection in general could be a little bit tighter. I want you to. This is a tip that I give a lot, and I give it a lot because it is great advice, and it's gonna help you a lot, and it's gonna cut down on a lot of your learning time. So if I can get for you to find a another producer who's on a higher level that you enjoy their sound and listen to the sound selection that they choose, and then kind of work that into your particular style of beat, and you'll be good to go. So listen to how their hi-hats are. Listen to how their 808s are. And then ask yourself the question, how do they get to this point? Where are they getting their sounds? How exactly are they putting this together? But the biggest thing that was standing out to me on this particular beat was that 808. So if I get for you to tighten that up and the rest of your sound selection, you'll be good to go. All right, and we have another beat here by producer Mexico. It's called So ATL. So we're gonna go ahead and check out this beat, give our feedback, and we'll be good to go. So second beat of the day, So ATL. So let's take a listen.
Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you staying on the basketball court so much? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you out there practicing in the hot sun when ain't nobody else out there? Because I'm trying to get it.
All right, family. That was producer Mexico with So ATL. Now, that particular beat, let me start off by saying I like the concept. I kind of I know the direction that you were attempting to go into, having a contrast with the intro to a bouncy drum beat with the sample incorporated. First thing is that 808 was just way too overwhelming. It's just way too much, way too overbearing. So we want to dial that back. Also, the hi hats and the snare was buried in the mix. You want to make sure that you get that pulled up. But I'm thinking you probably didn't have too much headroom due to the fact that that 808 is just, devouring all the space that you have available. So if you can pull back the 808, have the hi-hats and the snare snap through better, that's going to help. Overall, I feel like this beat, you want to get with another producer who makes these type of bouncy beats to kind of help you tighten it up, just to get the bounce totally right. This has, the concept itself has a lot of potential, and I don't want you to just, kind of let it sit on your hard drive. So get on BeatStars, get on Instagram, maybe even it doesn't necessarily have to be a producer from New Orleans, but just kind of a person who has that bouncy sound, so you two can collaborate and get this thing really, really right. Because you have to hit the bullseye on this type of beat, so people can really get driven crazy. That sample, the mostly having the 808 has a lot of potential, and when that thing hits, you want people to just jump and like get totally into the music. So a lot of potential, but we need to tighten up those elements so you can hit the bullseye. So thank you so much for submitting your music to the Heat Check. Make sure you submit more and more every week so we can help you out and help you grow. All right, and shout out to Slein Beats in the chat. Shout out to you. You have a submission this week. Moving forward, we have produced by jaequp. All right, and this one is called Lovin'. All right. Shout out to you, Mexico. See, like, Mexico's in the chat. Shout out to you. See, you guys be hiding in the chat. I think you always think you guys watch the replay, but you guys are hiding in the chat. So shout out to you, man. Thanks for submitting. All right, once again, we have producer jaequp. Yeah, jaequp. This one's called Lovin'. So we're going to take a listen to this beat. We're going to give our feedback, and let's go ahead and do that together, family. Let me go ahead and mute my mic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was jaequp with Lovin'. All right, so that particular beat, I like those really, choppy elements that you put in the beat. It really drew me in. You kind of have your own unique style. One thing that I'm hearing in that beat, I want to hear you put those sample chops, if you can kind of put them under a low pass filter, so that way your drums can poke out a lot more. That's gonna help. It's gonna help things not be so busy. Cause as I was listening to the beat, I like to mute my mic so I can start to. I'm not necessarily a songwriter, but as a producer, we do give ideas to artists and songwriters. So I was trying to create something, but it was just a little bit too busy. So if you can put a low pass filter on those samples, I think you're going to open up a lot of space and make it a lot easier for a recording artist and a songwriter to actually construct a song over that. And I'm really having a hard time judging it because that was the main thing that was getting me. I like the melodic elements of those chops, but it was just way too busy. There's just too much going on to actually write something to it. So let's do that low pass filter, and I think you should be good to go. Other than that, another suggestion that I have is, if you can't tell by now, if you're new to the Heat Check, Desmond, I am a huge proponent of collaborations. So if you know a producer who plays the keys, I'm really hearing keys. I'm really hearing that those, the Weeknd, classic Drake, Take Care era type of vibes. So if you know someone who plays the keys, who can kind of layer that on the beat, I think that's going to help you out. That's going to take this beat over to the next level because there's a lot of potential, honestly. All right, so let me go ahead and check the chat. All right. So we have Don Star here. Shout out to you, Don Star. Gotta be a time to make up this. Don Star, did you submit this week? I don't think I see you this week, but Don Star, if I can get for you to submit next week, that'd be dope. Everyone, the submissions are closed, but they're gonna reopen as soon as this live stream is over. Just check the link in the description. As soon as this live stream is over, the form is gonna open in like 5 minutes. Then you could submit your beats. Also subscribe because I'm going to make a YouTube community post so you definitely know when you could go ahead and submit your beats. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So shout out to, we have Shiki here. Shout out to you, Shiki, coming from Africa. Looks like Nigeria. Shout out to Nigeria. Don't review Afrobeat songs, but if you have Afrobeat instrumentals, definitely submit that to next week's show. Once again, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to make a community post tonight, and then you can submit your beats for next week's show. All right, we got RageBeats. Shout out to you, RageBeats. Don Star is giving his feedback. We got J-Zoe on the beat here in the building. Shout out to you, J-Zoe. He got got some submissions here this week. And yeah, all right. So we got everybody in the chat. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm very grateful. A lot of good things coming soon for this channel, for Desmond A Sounds, whole producer community. So shout out to y'all. Without y'all, this would not be possible. And honestly, I would not be doing this. I get a lot of fulfillment from communicating with you guys. So that is what's up. Okay, moving forward with this producer, jaequp, we have Fantasies. So let's go ahead and check out Fantasies. We're going to listen together and we're going to give our feedback. So let's check it out. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that was producer jaequp with Fantasies. Now, jaequp, I like the style of beats that you make. You just have an interesting way of just getting these bits and putting them together in your productions. Now, one thing that was just screaming at me is your this beat was it's just smashed up against the master bus. Is distorting so much. Let me see if I can find it here. It's just one solid brick here. Like the whole dynamics are totally gone, so I can't really even hear all the elements. If I can get for you to back off of smashing your beats against the master bus so much, it's causing that digital distortion to the point that it was almost causing me like physical pain, like my ears were hurting because it was so harsh against my ears. So please back that up so we can actually feel the beat and feel the music. It's just one solid brick here, man. The dynamics are totally gone. So if I can get for you to maybe submit this again for maybe next week's show with your music backed off of the master bus so we can get some of those dynamics, I can actually hear it. I can actually hear and feel the music. So I can hear the elements, I can hear the musicality that you have going on there, but honestly, it being smashed up against the master bus, this is one solid brick. Couldn't really get into the music the way I know that you would want us to get into the music. So if I can get for you to work on that. All right. All right. Yeah, J-Zoe, it's like physical pain, man. So um let's do this. Moving forward, we have the next producer here, Leonardo with Invictus. All right. So we're going to check out this beat here by Leonardo. It's called Invictus, and we're going to give our feedback. So let's check it out together and give our feedback, family. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Leonardo with Invictus. I like the drum bounce on that, man. Really good drum bounce. That's the type of beat. If you ever find your way to ATL, you're at some place where you can play beats for recording artists who, work in the trap genre, play something like this, they're gonna start moving and grooving, and you're gonna have your foot in the door with a beat like this. One thing that was standing out to me, if I can get for you to correct this, I'm hearing a type of compression that is keeping the drums from really snapping the way that they need to. It's like I kind of hear things I don't know if you're kind of letting your master bus get too much into the red and do digital distortion. I don't know if you have maybe like some type of limiter on there, but I feel like I want the drum elements to just breathe and snap more a little bit. So whatever you have going on your master bus, if I can give you or your drum bus or the individual sounds, whatever you have going on there, sorry about that, whatever you have going on there, if I can get for you to pull back, because I want those drum elements to just snap. I want them to snap. They're kind of mushed together. They're kind of being suppressed and subdued and compressed, and I want them to breathe. I want them to snap a little bit more. I want them to come alive a little bit more, especially a beat like this. This is high energy, people in the studio turning up, bouncing, shaking their dreads, things like that. I want the drums to snap more. So if I can get you to pull back on whatever compression you got going on those drums, you'll be good to go. Other than that, in this beat, I was expecting some type of major switch up. At times, I felt like it did get a little bit repetitive. If you can do some type of switch up in the beat somewhere where it can really pull the recording artist in, just use your creativity. Something where I could the beat drops and maybe switches for a little bit. I just want something where the artist is listening to the beat and then it maybe does it drop, then it switches to another beat or switches in a way that's dramatic, and then just really gets people going crazy and rapping fast and how people do in the studio, turn up like, because it has that energy. I kind of have a little bit of those Cardo vibes, Cardo Got Wings vibes. If I can get for you to add something like that in there, you're really gonna kill them. This is good. You're gonna be able to do something with this. The artist may want the engineer to maybe do low pass filters to break things up a little bit more. At times it did get a little bit repetitive, but if you could switch it up at a certain point, you'll really knock them dead. So shout out to you, Leonardo. Thanks for submitting. Make sure you submit again moving forward. Alrighty. I am doing great, J-Zoe. Shout out to Slein. Shout out to RagesBeats. Slein has his. And guys, make sure you check out the live chat. All the producers who maybe didn't make it to the live stream, check out the feedback in the live chat from the other producers. They're giving their feedback. They're giving some good game as well to help you out in the process, giving some tips from their perspective to also help you execute those, points of improvement as well. So we're all a community. We're all here to help each other out. All right, moving forward, we have RagesBeats. Shout out to you, RagesBeats. It looks like he is in the chat as well. And this beat is called Diana. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be checking out this beat here by RagesBeats. It's called Diana. So let's take a listen together. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was oh, sorry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Diana by RagesBeats. Now, that beat is going to be easy for a songwriter to write a song to. Listening to that beat, I'm getting the impression that, and this is a guess, but do you play an instrument? Do you play an instrument? I'm getting the idea that you play an instrument, maybe a guitar, maybe some other type of instrument. Just let me know if I'm totally wrong. Let me know if I'm off. It's fine. So back to the beat itself. The beat has a lot of potential. The main thing that's poking out to me is the actual sound selection itself. So you musically made the right choices. You made it easy to write a song to, but some of the, like, for example, the snare that you had going on in the very beginning of the beat kind of sounded like an acoustic snare. Kind of want you to maybe just test out different snares that you have in your library. Try to find something else to fit there at that point. Also, the main piano sound that you have going on, once again, just kind of cycle through different sounds. You know, to me, it sounds like almost like I want to give you like a VST to go to just literally drag and drop your MIDI from whatever you're currently using to something else, just so it can sound more polished. It's like, do you have Contact? Do you maybe have access to Omnisphere? I want you to just have like a better sound library to literally select from, and then everything will be right there in pocket, if that makes sense. So that's really the main thing, man. This has a lot of potential. If you can get your hands on just different VSTs to get those sounds right in pocket. Like, even if you listen to your main sound that you have going on, listen to another producer who makes a similar style as you, and listen to what they chose as their main instrument. Okay, similar sounding. They have these effects on it. Addictive keys, right. Addictive keys, that would be great. Keyscape, addictive keys. Man, this beat just needs someone to drag and drop his sounds into something like addictive keys, hand select like a different snare, and just put it in, man. You have things locked in. If you just get that sound selection right, you're gonna take off, man. So shout out to you, and you are welcome for the review. All right, moving forward, we have RagesBeats with another beat. He has another submission, 2 for the day. This one is called Reverse. So let's go ahead and listen to this track. We're going to go ahead and give our feedback together, family. So let's check it out.
Rages on the beats.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that was RagesBeats with Reverse. All right. Another good beat with a lot of potential. With those drums, the drums on that one sounded good. I just kind of felt like the kick maybe needed be a bit punchier. If you can maybe make that kick a bit punchier, you may be able to just turn it up. If you're using FL Studio, you can use let's see here. In the FL Studio, you can use pre-computed effects right here. Click on this. You should be able to just boost it. See if it makes it punchier, and then you can even try clip, see if it makes it sound nice and punchy. And if that doesn't work, then of course just look through your sound library and pick a different sound that just has a bit more punch to it. Now, that beat was also I was hearing some like stock piano sounds. So there's like some type of stock piano sound that you're using currently to carry the melody, and it's carrying the melody because as I'm listening to the beat, you know, kind of writing different type of little elements and words as I'm listening to it. But I just want that a different piano. So Slein in the chat mentioned addictive keys. So if you can try that, if you can get your hands on Keyscape, just try to find, maybe even you can possibly even find some one shots of better sounding pianos. I can get for you to do that. Other than that, I really like the arrangement of the beat. You have a great way of keeping the groove and then adding elements to like pull me into the beat. So for you, RagesBeats, it's just like these little things on sound selection that's going to take you from where you currently are to where you want to be. So once again, try to get some different sounds. So that's really it, man. You're close. You're so close. So yes, you are welcome, RagesBeats, in the chat. Moving forward, we have Produced by Stage with Pierre. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to listen to this beat, give our feedback. So let's go ahead and listen together, family. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that was Produced by Stage with Pierre. Now, Stage, I'm getting the impression that you're in the process of really finding yourself musically. You're trying to find your musical home. You might be making this style of beat. You might be making that style of beat. As a matter of fact, in my podcast that I have for producers launching at the end of June, so it's not launched yet. So I have a podcast for producers coming up, and with one of my guests, we were talking about finding your sound. So there's gonna be a lot of gems in that episode once that gets released. But just kind of giving you a bit of a spoiler on it is one thing is you, and not really a total spoiler because it's a bit of advice that I've been given as well, is you know, listen to the producers that you want to emulate, find what you like about their sounds, and then put it into your own unique bag. As of now, I could tell you're still searching. That's not a bad thing. We've all gone through those phases. We all have those folders of beats where we're just trying to find exactly where we fit in the music production space. So that's just kind of an overall thing on the beat that I was hearing. The beat itself, melodically, I get what direction you're trying to go into. If I can get for you to maybe try rapping or singing as you're playing your beat back to yourself, you're going to start to notice little spaces, little areas that you can do on your beat to really make things make sense for a recording artist. So as you're making the beat, don't just totally zone out and, you know, really feel yourself as a producer. That's what we all do. Just kind of get in our own zone and feel ourselves as producers. Like rap to it, sing to it, maybe even get an acapella and put it on top of it. Then you're going to hear, ooh, I need to do that melodically there. Ooh, maybe I need to turn my hi-hats up a bit more here because I felt like the hi-hats needed to be brought up a little bit in the beat. So don't be afraid to put yourself mentally in the space of a recording artist, even though you're a producer, so that way you can find those little areas where you can quickly, you know, find and then tighten them up before you're totally done with the beat. Hopefully that helped. That's something I wish someone told me years ago when I started, because I would just make what I felt without considering how exactly an artist would kind of jump in and fit in, if that makes sense. So that is what's up. All right. Yes, J-Zoe. It's a few more weeks, man. A few more weeks. I'm just building anticipation on the podcast. Just got done. Well, in the process of editing one episode right now, second one. So launching it end of June. So ladies and gentlemen, be on the lookout for that. And in the chat, guys, make sure I see that you guys are doing it now. Don't be afraid to network. Also on the playback, don't be afraid to network. Share your Instagram, share your beat stars. Definitely share your beat stars. I want you guys to network with each other, collab with each other. There's no big I and little you. I'm here for you guys, everyone, to spread the game and improve and grow. It's not about me, it's about the group. So I do not trip on that. Okay, moving forward, we have Mr. Solash with Amalleti. Okay. Mr. Solash with Amalleti. So let's go ahead and check out this beat, and we're going to go ahead and give our feedback on this, family. So I'm going to mute my mic, and we're going to take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Solash. Mr. Solash with Amalleti. All right. So, I can tell what phase you are in the music production journey. So, you're at a phase where you're getting familiar with certain things. You're figuring out how to put certain stuff certain places in your DAW. And right now you're searching. You see what I'm saying? You're in that searching phase right now. So what I want you to do is to continue to make beats. And as you make beats, you're going to start to find a groove on how to structure like even the hook part and even the verse part. But right now you're grabbing things and you're putting them there. So you're still in that. I know exactly what phase you're in. So what I want you to do, keep cooking up, keep making beats, don't give up. And eventually you're going to start to find a groove on how to place things together for the beat. If that makes sense. You're finding things right now. I know exactly what phase you're in. So don't give up. Keep going. But one thing I do want you to do is I want you to compare your beat, even though you're discovering stuff. I want you to compare your beat to other people's beat. Like figure out, at least start the journey on what segment of production that you want to find yourself in. Is it going to be the kind of 2000s Tommy Richardson, I believe that's his name? Is it that lane? Are you going to go into more of the dark trap lane? Start to figure out what area you want to go into in production, so then you can listen more, and then that can even help you find how to place things in a beat. But I know you're in that early phase of just putting things together, and I know exactly where you are. There you go. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. All right, Mr. Solash is in the building. All right. All right. Shout out to you. Appreciate that, J-Zoe. And we got Mr. Solash in the building. Moving forward, we got another beat by Mr. Solash called Well, Well, Well. All right. So we're going to go ahead and check out this beat. We're going to give our feedback. So let's listen together, family, and also producers in the chat. If you got some tips and tricks, make sure you share that as well. So let's go ahead and listen together. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Solash with Well, Well, Well. once again, I could tell you're in that discovery phase. One thing I want you to do is I want you to start to figure out what sounds good with what. Because I get the impression that you have sounds, you have VSTs, and you're able to create grooves, and then you might even get overwhelmed at times. Like, oh, I have that sound, and I have that sound, and I have that sound. Okay, let me try that sound. Let me try that sound with that sound. Okay, sounds cool. Let me just go ahead and put it in the beat. That sounds okay. Let me just go ahead and put it in the beat. I feel like it's this phase where it's you, sounds, and drums, and you're still on that path on trying to get all elements to work together. So listen critically to beats that you enjoy and figure out why they're making the selection that they're selecting. So listen to beats, of course, for enjoyment, but listen for why they're selecting what they're selecting. It doesn't even have to be like a major super producer. I want you to even get on YouTube and look at type beat producers, just a direction that you want to go in the future. It may not even be now. You may not even be sure now, but in the future, where do you want to be a year from now, 2 years from now as a producer? And then take yourself where you are currently and then start that journey. Okay, I noticed that they're adding a tubular bell with a dark piano, or I noticed that they're using I'm noticing that they're using like this smooth sine lead with dark brass. Why are elements going with different elements? Because I want you to start to develop the skill set of like sound selection and constructing a beat. Totally, like constructing a beat coherently and confidently, if that makes sense. Exactly, J-Zoe. Exactly. So we're right there. So you're in that discovery phase, finding things, getting excited. Oh, I got that sound and that sound. You know what I'm saying? We've all been in that stage. I'm literally picturing in my head that stage. I remember that stage. So keep going, keep cooking up beats, and find your path. Find where you want to be later, and then reverse engineer it, and then start the journey on moving forward to that point. So hopefully that was clear. You're welcome. You're so welcome. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have J-Zoe on the beat with Medusa. So we're going to go ahead and check out this beat by J-Zoe. We're going to give our feedback. We're going to listen together, family. So let's take a listen and give our feedback.
J-Zoe on the beat, man.
all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was J-Zoe on the beat with Medusa. Now, J-Zoe, that's actually my favorite beat from you. That's my favorite beat that I've heard you submit on the Heat Check. So, shout out to you. That was my favorite beat. It's unique. I wasn't hearing those elements that jump out on certain beats I've heard on your submissions, and that kind of were jarring. I felt like everything is tighter and in pocket, and I feel like I'm hearing the sound of J-Zoe. Like this is like a pocket that I'm hearing. One thing on this beat that I was expecting is, for some reason, I like the bass that you got going. I like the bounce. I like the sound selection, but I was expecting a kick to just hit pop, 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 pop. I was expecting it because I'm hearing the attack on that bass that you got there, and it sounds like it got enough space for a kick to just pop, pop right on top of it. So I was expecting that, and that was really gonna just hit me in the chest and make me just bounce to it. So if you could add that kick, just add a nice solid boom, nice punchy kick, boom. It doesn't have to be punchy, just nice solid kick, boom. That's gonna really set it off. So yeah, like the texture, like the sound selection, like the snare, like the pianos, everything was sitting right. If you could add, I think that kick, bam, I think that's gonna take it off. So yeah, that's the only thing I was like waiting for, that kick to hit. I was like, all right, the kick is gonna come, boom, because I hear that attack on the bass. I was like, the kick can just slide right there, you know. So if I can get for you to do that, you'll be good money. This is good regardless, but that kick, I was literally anticipating it. Like, where's the kick? The kick, it's about to hit. It's about to hit. So yeah, but other than that, good, nice drum bounce, nice sound selection, man. Everything is tight. I didn't hear any of that over compression. I think last time the beat was over compressed. I didn't hear any of that. So shout out to you, J-Zoe. Medusa, my favorite beat of your submission. So shout out to you. All right. Moving forward, we have Slein Beats with Rodeo. Slein Beats claims he is not a mixing engineer, but I don't know. I think he might be on the low, so he could be somebody's ghost mixing engineer, so we don't know. But let's check out this beat by Slein Beats called Rodeo. We're gonna give our feedback, so let's check it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Slein Beats with Rodeo. Shout out to you, Slein Beats. Thank you so much for that submission. Great beat, unique approach, not typical elements I was expecting to hear in a beat, but it's called Rodeo, so I guess I should have expected it. But shout out to you for the creativity. Now, one thing that was jumping out to me on that beat was just the loudness. It's like the loudness of the guitars, and it's a little bit harsh. So if I can get for you to just dial back the guitars that you have going on there, like if you listen to the beat maybe in headphones, you might hear that maybe if you turn it up in the headphones that that guitar part is getting a little bit harsh. So just dial it back, maybe a dB, just a little bit, use your judgment, dial it back, and then maybe even kind of take off, like maybe do a little bit of a shelf just so the rest of the drums could kind of pop through a bit more. Because since we're going to be having a vocalist like a rapper or a singer on it, sometimes having things feel a little bit too empty can be a good thing. And when an artist is writing to this, if they just have their Apple earpods in and they're just chilling and then this beat comes on, I want everything to be pleasing to the ears, so that way they're not like turning down the earpods, or they're listening to the intro part and then they're like, I don't know, this is a little bit, I don't know if I'm feeling, I want it to be softer and smoother, the texture of that guitar to just be smoother, so that way they can feel eased in, things can be a little bit silky, and then boom, they get hit with those Slein beat drums. That kick and bass relationship is always great in your production, but just dial it back just so it can smoothen it out. And even whenever you do the beat, like rap and sing out loud to yourself, or just mumble, and then as you're mumbling, you can hear, like, I don't have that much room to really sing to this beat. Like, okay, let me just dial it back. And when you hear that thing shelf, you can maybe even use like an EQ shelf just to dial it a bit. Use your judgment once again. Once you do that, you can be like, ooh, I got a whole lot of space. Like, man, this feels wide open. So yeah, that's one thing that I figured from when I actually started working with recording artists. We would get tight beats and we would just be recording. I would start to do that on my own. I would just pull out the EQ and Pro Tools and just do a little shelving and just take things down a little bit so the voice can cut through on top of the beat. So understand, when we're cooking up in our room as producers, we're jamming, the stuff feels good, we love the energy, but that artist, whenever it's time to write to it, want things to be nice and pleasing to the ear. And I wouldn't want that element to be what prevents them from even giving the beat a chance, for them to stop them from getting to the point where we're hearing those jamming kicks and bass. So, and artists are impatient, man. I don't, like, sheesh, like, at least let's get to the drums, but yeah, artists will be like, next. So don't want that to be what stops an artist from writing to it. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, looks like that was it. That's the Heat Check Show. Now, before we go, it's a controversial topic going on in the production community. And guys, I just want to know your thoughts on this. Big controversy. You're welcome, Slein Beats. You're welcome. Big controversy in the music production community, and guys, got to talk about it. Our brother, the OG, triple OG, GOAT, our main man, our man Timbaland, put out an AI recording artist. The comments are going crazy. The reaction videos are going crazy. So, as we wrap up the show, I just want to get your guys' thoughts, quick thoughts. I know we just have this chat box, we don't have too much room for everybody to dialogue. I just want to get your quick thoughts on it in the chat. If you guys could let me know what you think of this AI recording artist that Timbaland has coming out, man. You know, a lot of mixed reactions, man. A lot of mixed reactions in the producer community. Personally, I think it was inevitable an AI recording artist was going to come, especially as I noticed the association with Timbaland and that AI company. I figured eventually there's going to be a 100% AI artist that, of course, the labels are going to own 100% of. So, you know, cat's out the bag. You know, it looks like this is a new day, a new generation. We're gonna be on our Spotify's one day, and then we're gonna listen to a song, love it, and then we're gonna be like, oh, that's an AI artist. And we're not even going to notice. It's just going to be blended in with the rest of the music. So, you know, for all the producers out there, for all the recording artists out there who are watching this live stream, to combat that, which is going to come out eventually, of course, guys, please interact with the people. Go to different networking events. Go to different talent shows, or not talent shows, networking events, open mics, and shake the hands of those recording artists that you see there. Shake the hands of those producers. Because one thing that AI and this technology cannot do is the real human interaction. Looking at another person in the eye and saying, hey, I like your music. Let's work. Technology can't beat that. Because this human interaction, something that we've been doing for an extremely long time. This technology is new. It's going to emulate what we do as humans, but that real, authentic human interaction cannot be duplicated. And if you are a producer or recording artist who lives maybe in a country that you don't have too many musical outlets or opportunities, it is critically important that you create content, even if it's just on your iPhone, even if it's just little cook-up videos. The days of just posting beats online, guys, please, even if it's just a quick iPhone. Yo, guys, my name is so-and-so, and I live in, India, or I live in whatever. Check out this beat, and play the beat. Like, you got to get that real connection with people, because AI is going to get more and more advanced. You know what I'm saying? AI is going to get more and more advanced, man. I wonder how artists will perform on stage, program performance. As we listen to everything that you've been saying so far, but it can't hear there. Yeah, appreciate you, J-Zoe. All right, Slein Beats. Okay, so yeah, man. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that the Timbaland AI situation. It's like it's already out. You can't put it back in. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Y'all remember when they had the Tupac hologram years ago? I still remember that. The Tupac hologram, man. So, guys, create content. Get out there, shake hands. I don't care if it's just a bar in your city with 4 people performing. Shake hands. You know what I'm saying? Shake hands. Meet people. Interact with real human beings. It's easy to get, in our rooms, in our studios, and not get out there and meet people. So let's be a part of the community and not just email stuff. Let's try to get out there, shake hands, and kiss babies whenever we can in politics. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com to get your free loops. Get your FL Studio Patcher plugins. I got some crazy FL Studio Patcher plugins. One does some crazy stuff with the bass. I got one called FL Super Clipper. It is smashing the FL Soft Clippers to smithereens. It is far superior to what ImageLine created. I'm standing on that. Also, I got some free guides for Pro Tools. Free guides on mixing your beats. All kinds of stuff. Just go to DesmondASounds.com and tell a friend to tell a friend. The only way that this is going to work is if you let your fellow producer know and then we can continue to grow this community. I can continue to give you lots and lots of value. Make sure you subscribe, because once again, as soon as this live stream closes, give me 5 minutes. I'm going to create the post, open up the form, and you can submit for next week's show. And as usual, we're going to have a great time together, family. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the heat check. I am Desmond A. Shout out to all the producers, all the real human producers. And I am not selling your music to a big tech company. Oh, shots fired. Oh, well. So, shout out to all the real human producers doing their thing, man. Okay. Looks like J-Zoe got something coming out in his area for producers, artists, beat makers. So, y'all check out J-Zoe on the beat. He's going to have something out there. I believe he's in Miami, Florida, maybe in the Miami area. So y'all check out J-Zoe on the beat for updates, so y'all can cook up, engage with him, engage in the producer community, and all the information you need for that. More than likely, it's going to be on his page. So check out J-Zoe on the beat, subscribe to him, and subscribe to everyone that you see here in the live chat. We have to build ourselves as a community. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for submitting. Make sure you subscribe. Forum opening up soon. Have a great Sunday. Thanks for checking out the Heat Check. I'm Desmond A., and I'll see you next week, y'all. All right. Y'all be safe.